welcome to HIVE Thrive number 36. Your co hosts today are Buck Coins and Shadows Pub, and today we're going to welcome in Logic. Not everybody knows who Logic is, but you're going to find out that you may know differently than you thought. And he also tells us his name is Peter. Peter, how are you today?
Okay, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad. First question: what part of the world are you in?
I live in Spain now.
You
I'm in
live
Barcelona.
live in
Yeah.
Spain. You said now when you were living elsewhere before?
Yeah, I lived in London for quite a long time,
So you're
over 10 years, and then I moved to Barcelona.
and you're one of the OGs on the platform, like July of 2016. Not one of the first, but pretty darn close to it. What brought you to Hive? Or well, the legacy chain then.
I remember that I used to mine Bitcoin with GPU at home,
Mm-hmm.
and basically that's what got me into all the cryptocurrency and crypto scene. And I was reading some news article about the new communities, new blockchains, and Steemit came up, and I decided to try it, and I created an account, and yeah, basically that's how it was. And then yeah, I started blogging. Then I went to the first Steam Fest in Amsterdam. Then I dropped Steemit for about I think like 6 or 8 months. And I came back in summer 2017. Came back.
So, first of all, what made you choose the username Logic?
That was just a very illogical choice. It was just random. It was random. I
You
was reading some article about logical fallacies, and I just didn't know when I was asked to choose some username. I just wrote logic.
that was first on your mind, was it?
Yeah, yeah. I guess I wasn't expecting that I'm gonna stay around.
So, you mentioned that you left Steam for a while. What prompted you to leave?
Uh, just rage quitting, basically.
Ah,
Was yeah, I was spending a lot of time trying to write some, stuff and post stuff, and I've noticed that majority of users were not rewarded for the effort, and there was a time when some people with smoothy shitposts used to get like hundreds of euros, hundreds of dollars, Steam dollars, worth of rewards. So when I was receiving like half a dollar or or even less, then I was like, yeah, it was kind of annoyed me, and I left for a couple of months, and,
so
and then yeah, then it stabilized after I think like by 2017, mid 2017, it kind of stabilized. The reward stabilized. I think there were some hard forks and stuff. So all this insanity with Smurfy post rewarded for hundreds of dollars stopped, and then I came back.
yeah, and the price had kind of settled down too. It was past that first wave of everybody kind of piling in. The price was going down. Some people were wandering off. So you are a principal behind what we know as Hive Watchers. Believe it or not, I have forgotten what it was on the legacy chain, and I've been with the chain since August of 2016. So I got old woman's memory. What was the original name of it?
Steam cleaners.
Steam cleaners, right? And was it your idea? Did you create it, or what happened there?
No, that's the um, Scott Anix created it. His username is Anix,
Mm-hmm.
ANYX.
Right.
Anix created this idea, and with the help of other user Patrice, um, And yeah, that was they created it in I think in August or July 2016, but I joined a year later.
So neither Annex nor Patrice are still with us.
No,
Um,
they left.
they did, and you've kind of taken the lead on it, haven't you?
Yeah, it has been completely transformed.
In what way?
Uh, Um, the yeah, there was a new page, there is a new website. There was spam. Actually, Patrice created Spaminator, uh, but the API uh, was taken over later by guilty parties. Was taken over in 2018, I think, if I remember correctly. Patrice was absent for weeks sometimes, which was really frustrating because we couldn't. We needed to operate as spaminators to remove and add accounts to the blacklist, and it was really really frustrating. So at some point, I finally managed to. I was really me at the time, guilty parties, and there were some other guys working in the meantime as well with us, and yeah, it was really frustrated that we couldn't get Spaminator working. It took us like 6 months to finally get the keys and everything and to the account, and then the API was created, a new API, and the guilty parties took over the API, and yeah, it was been a long time. I can't really remember exactly. A lot of happened.
Yeah, it has. It's been a lot of years. That's it is a long time to carry on a project, and having a project myself that I've done for a lot of years. Uh, yours is a little more high stress than the one I've been involved in. How have you found that over the years in dealing with some of the controversy that goes with steam cleaners now hive watchers?
I stopped caring about trolling and other insults and whatever comes around. I used to get frustrated more and upset more, but now I'm chilled. I don't really get upset about things that much. Sometimes I get frustrated when there is a like abuser who keeps abusing and it's basically taking a mic out of Hive, and but in general I chill now with stuff.
What's the
I don't yeah, sorry.
what's the
Yeah.
principle behind hive watchers? What's its purpose to be?
Um, to fight spam, to fight plagiarism, um, to fight all sorts of abuse, reward abuse on the platform, exploitation, just dishonest behavior towards the community.
Yeah, it's been an interesting watching it develop over the years. It certainly draws its fair number of detractors. Certainly draws its supporters. There's people kind of in the middle of the road on it. If you were to do anything different than has already occurred, is there anything that you would like to do differently?
Mm, I'm not sure. I mean, uh, throughout the years, I have developed uh, specific ways of dealing with abuse, and um, I definitely need feedback when it comes to communication. Apparently, I get some criticism that I have need to improve communication. So yeah, so that's definitely what I need to improve. When it comes to the scope of abuse, I think it's it makes sense. I think it's logical. But yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, I used to be more less assertive with abusers, and in general I'd be more strict and maybe I don't know, maybe more aggressive in the past as well. So, but yeah, I've taken some feedback and hopefully it has improved since.
I guess to be fair, when you're dealing with a situation where people are not happy that you have visited them and had something to say, whether it's you directly or one of your team, um, I'm sure that that kind of does get to under your skin a little bit over time, no matter how much you say, I don't really care. And some of your responses have probably been jaded by that. Would that be a fair assumption?
Uh, I used to get upset. Now, yeah, sometimes when it's like someone is really like digging some troll and really digging and just accusing of things. I used to get a lot of accusations. The project used to get a lot of accusations, all sorts of accusations, and all sorts of things. And the most common one is that we force users out of the platform. And when I always ask for evidence, and they can never provide any evidence to show me some username or some conversation on a blog or on a chain, or that I force some non-abuser out of the platform. I know that I forced some abusers out of the platform, but I can't seem to recall any legitimate user that was forced out by the project, and the trolls cannot provide any evidence of that either. So yeah.
Well, to be fair, there has been some newer users that have come up alongside
Mhm.
of Hive Watchers, have tried to find out what it is they've done wrong, and they've had difficulty in getting that kind of feedback in a civil manner.
Mhm.
And
Right.
they've, after a while they get frustrated and they decide to move on. And we get a lot of users move on for a lot of reasons, but it is a little bit concerning if you find out that there's been that influence in there. But at the same time, I have also seen Hive Watchers dealing with somebody, and I know one in particular, that the individual had to explain to her exactly what she did wrong. Because I had a conversation with her. I saw what the problem was. I had a conversation with her. And she still, to this day, insists that you guys were picking on her. So there's two sides of the coin.
Which user?
Um, I've forgotten the name she's using on, I believe it was Ella Meadow.
I can't remember. We need to
It's,
I need to check the
it's,
database because
It's
there's
going it's
uh,
going back about 3 years ago, and what she did, and I could see it. I could see exactly the reason you guys had something to say to her. What she was doing was she took a podcast and she would post the text in one post, and she would put the podcast in the other post. And I explained to
mhm.
her that if she wanted to publish the transcript, she needed to put it all in one post so it wasn't double dipping. And
All right.
she
Okay.
wasn't listening. So I'm sure you've got people like that you've dealt with as well. So
Yeah, I'm not that. I used to be more strict with the different abusers and recycling posts as well, but now I'm less strict. If I see something like that now, I just leave the comment and that's it. And if someone is just repeatable recycler, just I see that does on purpose, with regardless of the comments that gets throughout the year, and then yeah, then more strict. But in general, it's a minor, like recycling content is a minor abuse if it's just like if someone does it like once or twice. If someone does it like repeatedly, then yeah, then it's a problem. But there are more important abuses like plagiarism and use of AI to just the deception and dishonesty. Someone pretends to create something, but they cheat basically. That's more important than some recycling, double dipping.
true.
Uh,
So one of the arguments that is made is that when Hive Watchers downvotes posts, that they're taking people's rewards. Are you? And it's even gone as far as to say that you're stealing from people on the chain. What exactly happens when you downvote posts?
well, that's what remove rewards.
You remove the rewards, and then the next
Yeah.
thing happens is, I kind of know the answer, but I'm going to ask you to explain it for anybody that is in the channel or listening who does not understand it. So if you
Uh,
downvote
I
removes
mean,
rewards, where do those
yeah,
rewards go?
go back to the pool.
and they become available for somebody else to legitimately earn.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
So I'm
So, but
gonna,
I don't remove rewards on legitimate posts. If there is an abuse in a post, then I remove rewards because I consider that they're not how to say they're not um, um, entitled to the reward. I don't
hmm
know how to the word to use to explain.
yeah, that's the other thing that a lot of people don't realize, that the rewards are not rewards until the post pays out. They're
Yeah.
potential rewards.
hmm So
So,
and yeah, I mean my the high fortress power downvolt power is not that high. I use ADM account. I'm allowed to use that account um, to downvote content, but it's very limited every day. So the Marky Mark is downvoting a lot of stuff, and he's more or less using our blacklist, has his own blacklist, but I think most of the accounts that are in his blacklist are in iWatcher's blacklist, Spaminator blacklist as well.
so that kind of leads up
So
to Fish's question here, and then I'm going to turn it over to Buckcoins. Um,
yeah.
Fish is saying Hive Watchers currently cost us $95 a day. We've been discussing DHF
Mhm.
spending for, or rather investment, lately. Does Hive Watchers bring us value somehow? Um, at least $95 per day? Question mark. Can we calculate it somehow? And what are the KPIs? And would it be possible to create some easy to use dashboard to track the actions and value added to the chain? That's a lot. Cover what you can out of it.
Transparent, about my spending. That's for my personal spending. There is some minor cover for server and stuff like that, but yeah, that's for my personal life. And I provided the documents to a couple of people on the chain, which I think no one else does it in any other proposal. No one knows what they are actually doing. If they spend 5 minutes or 12 hours working on stuff, no one knows what they're doing. There is no transparency, but you can see what I'm doing on the chain. You can see in the reports. I started posting more reports in Discord, but majority of reports have been going on in the private Hive Blue private chat. So there is a fraud channel and everything is submitted there. So major stakeholders and some developers and others who are there, they see what I'm doing. But yeah, it's more or less. But 99, I know that 99.9% of users, they don't know what we are doing behind the doors, closed doors. So they think that they only see downvotes and some comments, and I think that's all the work. Yeah.
All right, but you're up.
Sorry.
I just called on Buckcoins there.
Oh, okay.
I don't see him unmuted, so if you're asking a scintillating question, nobody's hearing you, but
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah. Here I am. Good thing you told me I was muted. so yeah. Thanks for Common Logic. It's nice to have you on. And yeah, I'm kind of. I think I always am. I'm a big believer in that. The half of the issues become our communications and people not knowing or understanding, and that when we have like kind of a chat like this, it gives the opportunity for people to understand a little bit more. So why don't we just take a split second and you could just walk us through what a typical day at the head of Hive Watchers looks like. What does your day look like? What is it that you're doing throughout the day?
Yeah, I work more or less 3-4 hours a day. Sometimes a bit more, maybe 5, 6, depends if there is some major abuse pops up, and I need to find the accounts and dig the accounts and scan the chain and play with the database, checking transfers, account creation. But yeah, when I what I do, the first thing I do when I get on the computer, I check um, I check replies and communication on the chain. If there are any replies, any responses from any users, anything in Discord, then I go to the backend and I check for the reports. There are any new reports from anyone. Then I checked my own investigations, which are open in the database. Usually, it's mostly identity verification stuff. Then, yeah, the next thing I do, I scan the feed for abuse. I go to Hive blog, go to a new post, and I just scan the feed from the whole day, looking for suspicious accounts. Then I open when I see some account, I open it in a new tab, and and then I go through all the suspicious accounts and checking up what's been posted and stuff like this. Usually, I find a lot of the regular abusers who are keep creating accounts daily and keep spamming the chain with abuse. So I sort them out and I add them to the list. And I checked after that. Yeah, when I see any abusive posts, I tend to leave comments. It depends what kind of abuse I find. Sometimes I also, when I see some new users, I drop some comments for some guidelines. Then I go and check newly created accounts from last day or last 2 days, sieve out all the abusive accounts and add them to the groups in Spaminator. If you go to High Waters Discord, you can see reports from High Waters, so you can see the accounts that have been added recently to the groups created by regular scammers and users. For example, there was yesterday I discovered another abusive group that was some scammer was exploiting Leo Voter, which is the most common way of creating accounts. It's the favorite account creation service by scammers. They create dozens of accounts every day. So someone last few days has created already at least 800 accounts, spamming the chain with comment spam and commenting on each other. So I was digging into for a few hours. I was digging into that, and today as well, sieving out the accounts in database using database queries. And, yeah, for example. So in
Yeah,
Spaminator, yeah, for example, in Spaminator, since I joined, there are right now the number of groups. Let me tell you, there are over 1,800 groups. So I have created majority of these groups since I joined. If there's an abuser that has at least 2 accounts, it's a group created for it. And there are almost 200,000 accounts on blacklist on Spaminator now.
so just for being able to understand, like how okay, so there's a bunch of new Leo voter accounts created.
Yeah.
How do you distinguish them as spammers, and how do you link them to like a past abuser? Like how does that even work?
Well, this is for example, the abuser from yesterday and today is a new abuser, but you can see that in the database when I do a query and for newly created accounts on the chain, I see that all the accounts they have very generic names, very random. You just after years of experience, you just recognize intuitively which accounts are abusive, basically. And so the accounts were created in batches within for 10 15 minutes batches. and they were created within a couple of seconds, and they all have like generic names. So I copied all these accounts to the database, and then I was going through all the accounts to try to sieve out the usernames that might not be necessarily be um, be part of the group, and I was checking the blog for these accounts and disabling and blacklist on these accounts. I think that I might have added to the blacklist few accounts that are not that are legitimate. It's possible, but it's really difficult to recognize visually which accounts are not. So it's better to just add the whole bunch, and then if there is some new user that was accidentally put on the blacklist, then I can just remove it later. But it doesn't happen very often. I think that I think that all the accounts are likely abusive accounts. You can see the list if you go to our Discord. There is a list. I posted a text file as well for the list of the accounts. So yeah, it's just intuitively recognize the things.
Mm.
And then I also see all other abusers that they have a specific way of creating accounts, specific names as well. There is one abuser which uses Telegram to lure people to fake arbitrage scam um, schemes, and then creates fake wallet accounts. A lot of typo squatting recently accounts to just scam the rewards out of users on Telegram and on chain as well. But users, yeah.
So this like sometimes when I look out at the Hive landscape, I think of that the dead internet theory that like we're surrounded by bots on the internet and there's like few actual humans. So I'm going to kind of flip that onto you. I'd be curious, like what percentage of real users versus say like second, third, 500th account users like versus spammers, like what if you had to break out the amount of spammers that are out there, like what kind of percentages do you think are going on?
Currently, with about 80-90% of accounts that are being created daily on the chain are abusive accounts, a part of some spam botnet or spam network. There are at the moment. I don't know if it's you don't know if it's one abuser or there are a couple of abusers, but I think there are like 3 or 4 different abusers they keep creating accounts every day, usually with Leo Volter. And with SNC, there are some abusive accounts, but they're not used. SNC is not used by these abusers. SNC is used by one scammer or that keeps creating SEO spam accounts. So about like 50-60% of accounts created with SNC or SEO spam, just created to spam SEO stuff. Leo Volter is being used by these abusers to create like one of the famous recent ones. Main account was Roland, I think 666 or 555 or something. Let me check. Roland 555, Tim Basso, other username. Yeah, he's created almost 1,500 accounts. Been doing that for last 3 or 4 years, and the it's been using Leo Volter. Used to use other services like Hive on Board and Sprinterlands, but there are most of them are using Leo Volter now. So yeah, this one creates about 10 accounts a day. That Telegram scam account abuser creates about 50-60 accounts every day. They usually have a username starting with ID in the name. And yeah, there's the guy. I don't know if it's the same scammer or a new scammer, but modus operandi is kind of similar. So might have created the 100 accounts that were created last 4 days might belong to one of these scammers as well. They keep trying, they keep digging, they keep trying to find loopholes and ways to farm and exploit. As soon as there is any mindless creation, manual or automatic, they're right on it within a day or two. So they're always in the background digging for stuff. It never abuse never stops, regardless the price of Hive. Abuse never stops.
And so I guess, a question that I would have is what would a hive without hive watchers look like?
It will be flooded with abuse. It's flooded every day. There will be complete out of control. No one would. I don't know. Hopefully, there will be someone would start to maybe help a bit, and but yeah, there will be. I don't think there will be anyone to keep it in check.
And when you blacklist somebody, they still can post. It's just
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just come up as like blanked. So they're still able to post. They're still in the new posts, but they just come in as like a muted, and you have to like unmute them to see.
Yeah, of course, they can keep posting. So sometimes high voters were accused of censoring people because of removing rewards. You cannot censor anyone. The text is stays on the chain forever. So you might some frontend might remove some content, block some content, but if you have a tool, you can read it. You can see it. So it's possible to censor anything. Even if you mute the person in your community, they can still, other front ends can still, show the content other tools. So yeah,
So I'm kind of curious if because obviously there's a lot of talk. You've brought it up. Hive Watcher drives people away from the chain. Hive Watchers is too harsh. uh, like Hive Watchers is being used to keep like small people down, and it's a big conspiracy. All this kind of stuff.
conspiracy
There,
theories.
right. And so I guess if there was like anything that you wished people understood more about really what you're doing on a day to day, like is there like something that feels like more of a misconception than another? Like if you took a moment to just say like, I just wish people realize this is all I'm doing, or just I don't want to put words in your mouth. I just am saying, is there anything you wish more people understood about what Hive Watchers is doing?
Yeah, yeah, I wish that people understood, the users understood how much abuse is out there going on. They really don't know. I mean, they usually revolve around the same circle of community, and the most majority of abuse is are botnets and spam. You can't really see. You can see them on the feed, certain abusers, so that you can usually recognize these accounts because they have a reputation lower than 25. I reduce reputation on these accounts, so they can be easily seen. But majority is in the background, and it is time consuming to find these accounts, and you need to pay a lot of attention and to that stuff. And when it comes to the high fortress dealing harshly with abusers, it's confusing because one one side is telling me that I don't do enough, that I should be more strict with abusers. Another side is telling me that I'm doing too much. For example, I used to blacklist more new users in the past. But since about 2, 3 years ago, I stopped blacklisting any new users unless it's an obviously abusive account created for abuse. So I don't blacklist any new users. I leave comments guide with the guides for posting. So some got upset and, for example, removed support on proposal because they think that we are too lenient with abusers, and they think that we should just blacklist them, don't give them any appeals. They said that appeal of 30 or 7 day appeal to to show that the user is able to post and prove that they can post without abuse. They thought that it's stupid and then just infantile, and some abusers will just ignore it and who think that that's like they're in school or something. And some other, like when I try to remove it, then I got criticism that there is no chance for users to appeal. There's a blacklist, so it's confusing. They're never happy about anything, to be honest.
And so, I just see here in the voice channel, and I'm going to kind of capsulate this into a broader question. What do you say to people who say that it's you're not evenly policing, that there are users still currently, the taskmaster has just been brought up in the general chat, like what about, like, why do some people get a pass and other people just get targeted right away? Can you speak to this?
So accounts, all of them are blacklisted except one. I deactivated the blacklist on Taskmaster 3 or 4 days ago because it was depleting Spaminator download power. So basically went to zero. Taskmaster and some other account was I think AI, I don't remember the name, AI queers or something like that. So I deactivated these two accounts because they don't get a pass. Basically, the Spaminator was drained completely. So other accounts were not receiving the micro votes, micro downvotes for blacklist. So I had to deactivate it. But no one gets a pass.
All right. Fair enough. I'm just going to address another question that I saw. What do you have to say about, isn't we're in this decentralized environment here on Hive, and anonymity is a piece of that, and so then Hive Watchers is asking for verification. So doesn't this go a little bit against kind of the ideals of what we're doing here? How what do you think about that question? How do you balance the, like, KYC and fighting spam?
Mm. There is no other way to uh, sieve out and find out accounts that are cases of stolen identity or identity deception. Sometimes you just when there is if there is suspicious account, I need to ask for the verification. There's no other way to find out basically. So there's a lot of sock puppetry going on all the time. Users create fake accounts, to exploit the chain, and there's a lot of identity theft going on. There is one particular user that keeps creating accounts pretending to be Venezuelan women. He creates fake Facebook. Actually, he has created dozens of fake Facebook and Instagram accounts on which he in 2023 and 2024 on which accounts he actually were posting hundreds of fake posts with photos of girls who are living in Russia and Ukraine. So he created those Instagram, Facebook accounts, pretending that they are Spanish, and then he was using these accounts to verify, to intend to verify on Hive. Maybe he's using these accounts also for some other platforms. I don't know, but that's what he keeps using them for on Hive. And then when I see some suspicious accounts that appear to be part of that group or some other group, then there is no other way. I have to ask for the verification through some social media. I just ask to put the word Hive or some other word on that platform, so no one can. There is no backlink or there is no promotion of Hive. If some user is afraid that for some reason they are embarrassed that if someone finds out that they're using Hive, no one is gonna know because there is no. I don't ask for backlinks and promotion. It's just I put the word so I can see that they can confirm through social media that through a legitimate account they can see there's a real person. And also I can that way I can find these accounts from these abusers. I go and see their Facebook and I can see that it's fake and I blacklist these accounts. There's 99% of users they don't have a problem. There's some users say they don't have any social media, and in almost every single case when they say it, it's been found out that they are abusers. They are lying basically. There have been only a few cases when there was really someone didn't have social media actually, and but then I drop it usually that thing after a few attempts. I drop the case and I move on. But there's nothing I can do to
So
verify.
so I heard you say, as we were starting, that you're not as strict as you used to be. You're not as worried about double entry stuff, and so I'm just kind of curious. What, like, was there a time, a case? Was there certain patterns since you have been doing Hive Watchers that you look back at and you're like, during that thing I was doing, I wasn't handling that well. I could have been had more empathy towards a user, or I could have had been more
Yeah,
clear with
I
what
agree.
was needed. So
Yeah,
I'm just kind of curious, like, what do you like? So you recognize like some
yeah,
of these patterns yourself? Do you
yeah,
see? Do
yeah,
you?
definitely. Yeah. I used to have a little yeah, much less empathy. I was more aggressive towards abusers in the past. That's definitely the case. I know about it, and yeah. Uh, yeah, but the language I use probably, and I was getting really, really frustrated in the past and really upset about some things. Probably I don't, maybe because my personal life was affecting my work as well. But yeah, I definitely, definitely was wrong with the way I was approaching users. Uh, in Discord with appeals and on a chain. That's certainly true.
Well, I could just put this into a tiny bit of a perspective. Here I work in the service industry. I'm dealing with just a lot of human selves, and in real time, in real world, in real life. And what I often have to remind myself, I have to mention to managers, is what happens is so many people are fine, and they're just fine, and they're doing their thing. But because you have a shitty customer or a shitty client, it like paints your world, and you just get you have found in my past that I've just like been really shitty to people who didn't deserve it, and the people that probably did deserve it, I wasn't, right. And so I basically, I suppose, right here I'm empathizing with you and saying you have one of the least envious jobs on Hive. you know like, so from that standpoint, I can empathize with you and the plight, and I can understand where where maybe you went down the wrong rabbit hole, or the wrong direction, or the wrong attitude. So but yeah, I guess if we were thinking about a future for Hive watchers, is there anything that you could imagine that would maybe, one, help people to recognize that you truly are doing a service for this community, and some sort of mechanism that maybe brought more transparency or something? Is there anything that is being worked on to sort of, I don't know, be a bit more, I don't know if the word is approachable or transparent, but is there anything in the works that are going to help, uh, kind of help the name of Hive Watchers to be seen as a positive thing and not as a negative thing as some people see it?
Well, I'm not very. I have not come from customer service and public relations environment, so I don't really know how to answer to that. I'm learning basically um, these things. But well, I need a feedback from you in the community to tell me, what I should improve. That's what I want. That's how I'm gonna improve things. At the moment I cannot think about anything. What I should change. I need feedback. I need information and feedback. And when I get feedback, then I start questioning things, and they have something to work on and improve. And, I can't think about anything right now that I would like to change in the project. Um,
So I got probably an impossible question to answer, but I'm curious to hear what you say. Anyways, um, how much money has Hive watchers saved Hive through spamming?
I have no idea, but that's the common uh, criticism I get, especially from the Marky Mark, which is around here now, I think. Join in. That's basically that we don't do any work. That I don't. It's just me now in the project, so that I don't. That most of the abuse is dealt with and has been eliminated by the Marky Mark because he's got the powerful downvoting account. Yeah, I don't know how much. A lot, definitely not as much as Build a Whale downvote and the Marky Mark downvoting, but it's not about during abuse. It's not just about plugging in the downvote bot and just leaving it to just downvote the accounts. If you don't find abuse in the first place, it just doesn't make any sense. And I think that, from what I see in Marky's blacklist, majority of accounts have been found by Hive watchers and Steam cleaners by me. So how you're gonna deal with abuse if you don't do any proactive, any due diligence work to find abuse in the first place, to find the abusive accounts. So
Well,
plugging in,
I
like I said, like plugging in the download it's helpful, but it's not gonna investigate and find abuse.
well, like I guess we could put it into this perspective as well. I mean, a lot of people I've heard it like posed or a question posed or just a dialogue had of, are we losing more new users to Hive Watchers policing than we are gaining like value from spammers caught, and vice versa, the with the DHF, are are we getting, I mean, in essence, are we getting $95 a day worth of less spammers, I guess, so that like it's like we're in this time where we're talking austerity for Hive because we've been spending too much. So then I guess the question is do you feel that you're performing the value of the 95 dollars a day that you get? Do you, in your world, do you feel that it's worth it to
Mhm.
the community?
Can I just come back in with 3 minutes,
Yep.
please? Because I've got someone here, and need to. Sorry, be right back. 3 minutes. Sorry.
That's different.
Okay, he's researching my question.
Well, he's got workmen there, so he's probably got to deal with it right now so they can stay at work. So we haven't asked him how many people are on the Hive Watchers team.
That's true. Yeah, and I wanted to actually dip into an AI question as well. I'm kind of interested in.
Yeah, that one's an interesting question, as it's getting harder and harder to actually know what is AI and what isn't.
We have a really fun room of people today, don't we?
Uh
This is
huh.
great. I'm glad I didn't miss the whole thing.
When did your talk come up? Alessandra?
My talk in GMT in London time is 3:15 tomorrow on the tokenized stage. And so that's 4:15 UTC. No, I'm wrong. GMT and UTC are the very same right now. So a quarter after 3, I take the stage tomorrow.
Okay. So that would be the same time difference between us that is normally there.
Yes, yes. And it was a good thing that, we keep track of what's going on Discord. Well, most of us that are here are like usually on Discord every day. Um, because Guilty said to me, he was like, now you dropped the slides off with the organizer of the conference, right? And I'm like, dude, I thought you did. Uh,
Peter, let us know when you're back. We're just filling space here right now.
we're killing time.
You can't be too far away. I see his mic is activating. Oh, sounds like he's getting close. So, but while we're waiting, who's our guest next
Mhm.
week? Now's a good time to mention it.
Well, he's here in the audience. Rampo
Mm-hmm.
is our guest for next week. I believe that the hosts will be Mino and Aloha Ed.
Yes, I
And
do
also
believe so.
saying this to you, Grandpa, as well, so you know who you'll be chatting with that day. I'm hoping to make it into the audience myself, but
All unlike I will be unlikely to make it in that to the audience. I have an event over on Go Brunch next Tuesday. No, not
And
bad.
Shadows, is your event next Tuesday on Go Brunch? Is it is it open all day? Like if we want to be able to dip in and see what you've created there, how do we do that?
It's there for 12 hours, so it'll start at I believe it's 10 a.m. Eastern, and it will end at 10 p.m. Eastern. So instead of running 2 days, it runs for 12 hours. Are you with us, Peter? Got lots of activity going on in the text channel while Peter's dealing with what he's dealing with. Joseph just made the comment he'd rather have a bit more abuse and a lot more users instead of zero abuse in the user base we have now. That's an interesting concept. Although I don't think we've ever got rid of the abuse. I think what the best we do is minimize it. Well, the question is, have we minimized abuse by minimizing users? That's pretty hard to determine, actually.
I don't know, but we have a cool number from yesterday. 289,000 Hive got powered up,
Nice.
at
Mark
least.
Marky says Leo is creating 1,000 a week. Are those legit users?
If you ask me, no. Maybe 1 or 2% of it at the highest peak.
So why are they creating so many on such a regular basis?
Because it's just too easy.
Hmm. Because part of the problem is that you can't say you're onboarding 1,000 a week when there's only about, let's say, let's be generous. So let's say 10% are legit. That's still not much of an onboarding.
Yeah, I mean, I already made a proof of concept where I'm just able to just create 10, 20, 50 accounts in like 3 minutes for free.
Mm-hmm.
And the main idea is just use their key store. I mean, if they not change their system, at some point they will run out of account creation tickets. And if that happened, they need to let the users pay. So in the end of the day, it's better have legitimate users coming to us instead of just having, I don't know, 98% of account creation is just fake.
Yeah, and I kind of think that the other side of the coin is that if they're creating accounts at that large number a week and we know that they're fake, then their KPIs will not be believed when they come around for their
So
next
their
attempt
KPIs,
at
it's
funding.
just bullshit. It's
Well,
just,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Okay, Peter, I see you talking. Are you back? Or see you talking. I see you typing. Okay. It looks like Peter is back. He says Telegram arbitrary scammer that has been creating account for over a year, mostly using Leo Voter. He actually pays for many accounts. And there we go. All right. So Peter, you're back. I don't hear your voice. I see you typing. I don't hear your voice.
Mr. Hive Watcher,
Sorry, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, we can hear
Yeah,
you now. Your mic must be on. But
yeah. I was talking to myself. I think for a while, I didn't realize. Did you hear me talking about the proposal value and stuff?
No.
No. Okay. So yeah, what I was talking about. Yeah, you asked me about the value of the proposal. Yeah, I mean, I Luis is here. He knows what I spend money on is my personal life. I There was criticism in private Slack about the price of Hive and the values of proposal. I suggested to decrease the value of the proposal there, and no one was interested. No one replied. Uh, and I didn't see anyone else suggesting decreasing any value of any of their proposals, although they were there was criticism towards high vouchers, but like I said before, like I am transparent what I spend money on. You can see my work every day I do on the chain and the investigations I do and give reports. And no one can see what other guys are doing with their proposals. No one knows if they work at all or if they work 5 minutes a day or 12 hours a day, or there are no reports. There's just complete fog, lack of transparency. So I don't know why there is always criticism directed at high vouchers, which is actually one of the lowest proposals, and while other proposals just there is absolutely no transparency, no pay slips, no receipts, nothing. No one knows what's going on really. You can see some of the work, of course, some development work. There is a lot of development work. You can see that, but other proposals, it's like yeah. So anyway, so yeah, this goes for my personal life. Yeah, I explained before. I work like 3-4 hours a day, sometimes a bit more. But I'm here every day. I think like the last 8 years, I maybe have like I don't know 20 days I wasn't out here, with some Sunday or something like that. Except the recent break that I had in November when we lost for the fourth time. We lost the proposal, funding, and I got upset and I just stopped working for 2 weeks. It didn't happen before I continued, regardless of the lack of the funding, lost funding. And just this time, it's just I was upset because it's constant attacks on Hive watchers, constant criticism, removal of funding, and it doesn't seem to happen with anyone else. And the lack of appreciation for the work that's been done every day. I was really frustrated.
So, we were talking while you were on the when you went to chat with your guy there. We were talking about AI and kind of interested Hive watchers in your viewpoint on AI and the use of AI and whether it's even going to be possible to recognize that people are using AI, if that's a problem. Uh, I know we're supposed it's supposed to be proof of brain here, um,
Yeah.
but kind of the way things are moving, is there going to be proof of brain anywhere? you know,
I mean, I don't
well,
have a problem with I don't have a problem with AI. As soon as AI showed up a couple of years ago on chain, there was right away there was considered as abuse because it's like plagiarism, it's like cheating. I don't have a problem with AI if they write in the post that it's written and created by AI, there's no problem with that. They can monetize it if they're honest with the community. They write in a like when I give a guide about AI, I suggest that it should be stated in the title of the post so it's clearly visible in the feed that the content is created by AI. It can also avoid there's a lot of just mindless upvoting and mindless manual curation also on a feed. People just click just to upvote. So that should be clearly stated in the title that it's AI content. So then there is no problem with that. But if someone is using AI to write the content and doesn't tell community that it's written AI, not it's human authorship, then for me it's the deceitful behavior, and it's like same as plagiarism when they use someone else's content and they pretend to be the author of it to monetize it. Also, it's using AI is a minimum effort, usually minimum effort content. So, but there are also other things there are even some accounts that are declining rewards that spam AI. They basically spam chain with trash, and that also affects the SEO indexing indexing um, of Hive blockchain. So yeah, it's basically trash that it's undermining the Hive ecosystem as well. So it's also that the problem with that basically spam. So yeah, I don't have a problem with AI. Just state in the title, and when you use AIR, just write it. It's like you source anything else. Just write that it's an AI created image or text, or and mark it down, and that's it.
Well, let me put a way that so I a lot of times edit like pretty straightforward videos. I'll make a little video of like what I'm doing around the place, and then a lot of times what I'll do is I'll talk to AI, and I'll say, hey, I just made a video, and the start I'm doing this, and then in the next part I'm doing this, and I like talk it through what the basic video is about, and I say, can you just give me a real simple prompt to go along with this video? Mm, is that considered abusive use of AI, or is that some 'cause just straight, full honesty? I don't necessarily put that I wrote this with AI. I feel like I had a conversation with AI and told it what to say. But should I be writing this write up was done with AI?
Do you copy the text? Do you copy the video created by AI?
No, no,
or
I make the video. I'm just
yeah.
saying
So
then
if you
then I
use yeah,
yeah.
if we I think that if we use a prompt, some AI prompt to give us some feedback information, and then we create the content in our based on that information, and we create write in our own thoughts and our own way. This is not the use of AI. It's the same like it's not plagiarism to read someone's article, I don't know, a scientific article or something, and then learn from it, and then write in our own words or create a video about it in our own way. This is not abusive. This is original creative content. So this is not. If the problem is when someone copies AI prompts and pastes it and pretends that they wrote it. Sometimes they change some wording to avoid detection that was written by AI. Now they're getting smarter now a bit, the users. So yeah, this is the problem. But yeah, it's the AI is not going to go away, obviously, and it's going to get more and more difficult to find out AI content.
So part of the
So
problem too is that AI is getting better at writing, which makes it even
Yeah.
harder to detect whether it was human written or AI written. How do you detect it now?
It's difficult, but in majority of abusers, they're not very creative and they still basically just copy paste stuff. Uh, there are a lot of clues how to recognize that someone is abusive, the content is suspicious, there's AI or plagiarism. I mean, I don't know if I should give clues here, so maybe someone can use it. Yeah,
Well,
no, but
they could probably
for
find a lot of AI slop on the internet that'll tell them those same clues. So go ahead.
no, for example, if you see someone writing an essay every single day, it takes a while to learn about the subject, to edit the post, to find relevant information, to put in your own words. So if someone is publishing 800,000 words article every single day, the whole year, that's already there's a red flag. There's the content is suspicious, automatically suspicious. It's likely plagiarism or it's AI created and transformed. I know, for example, movie review every single day. No one is watching a movie every single day. It takes time to watch a movie, it takes time to write the review, and find the images, videos, whatever, and then someone is doing this every single day. That's obviously abusing that. It's not a legitimate content. It's taken from somewhere. It's not their content.
mhm. So we're kind of wrapping up here in the hour. So I'm gonna ask one more question, and then I'll leave it to Shadows to close us down. But I'm gonna tie a question that I had, and then I'm gonna tie it with a question I'm seeing in the group as well. So my question is well, where do you see how do you see Hive moving forward over the next 5 years? What do you imagine it looking like? Is it going to be kind of the same? Or are you still adapting? And then the question that was in the group that I think plays into this question as well is so if Hive Watchers is defunded on more of a regular basis, like are, are you still here doing this, or do you eventually leave because it isn't funded? Um, and then the tie on to that question was during the 2 weeks that you were unfunded and you took a break, was there a dramatic change on the chain?
Yeah. The re- yeah, there was the regular abusers were basically out of the control. Some of a few older abusers came back because they saw there is no screening of the content. So a few came back. Like for example, that guy that creates this fake this identity theft accounts. He came back with few accounts right away. I found yeah, and the regular abusers like the arbitrage scammer, other guys come up like the guy with over 800 accounts past few days using Leo Voter. So no one checks it. No one checks it. Who's gonna check it? During those 2 weeks, no one bothered to check anything, or to investigate anything. No one in the private Slack, I didn't see anyone bothered about anything. So I don't know what's gonna happen if I take a break again. It's just gonna be completely flooded out with abuse out of control. Who's gonna investigate this stuff? You know. So basically, that's how it looks like.
And
Abuse never
so
stops. It never goes. It never stops. It's gonna only get worse, regardless of the price of Hive.
and then just to answer that question, then but if you weren't having funding, then you just really couldn't keep doing the work.
I would keep going for a while, like I used to do in the past, except the last time. But yeah, I will keep going for a while. But if obviously I'm not gonna, it takes time, it takes work. So I'm not gonna do work for free because it's also I need money for my own personal life. So I have to find some other way to sustain myself. You know. So this I mean the funding from Five Vouchers it helps me a lot in my personal life. So I have to obviously spend the time to uh, to look for some other employment opportunity, and uh, so yeah.
All right, well, that's it for me, Logic. I really appreciate you coming on. I hope it wasn't too anxiety ridden for you, and
Yeah, thank
we
you.
look forward to maybe having you on as a guest again in a year or so.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was nice talking to you.
I do appreciate that you broke your silence, so to speak, because this is the first time you've come on a voice interview, and it's much appreciated. They can be a little intimidating the first time. Is there anything that you would have liked to have touched on that we haven't asked you about?
Um, no, I think no, I don't think nothing comes to my mind. There's nothing I would like to. No, just yeah, I just need feedback and criticism. That's what I need to improve. So so
Well,
I appreciate all the all the questions and all the criticism if there was any.
I will mention one thing, and I don't mean to try to discount what you said, but when you were talking about somebody who's publishing 800 words a day, that that's got to be AI. I'm going to tell you that I am a writer, and if I want to put out 1,200 words a day, I could actually do that without too much problem. It would take me an hour or two to do my research, and about half an hour to write that many words, and about another hour to edit it. So it's not impossible. So you might want to give that some consideration when you run up against
Okay.
somebody.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Make a point. But I think that there are not many skillful writers like this around. And at some point, even I suppose that even you get tired and you wouldn't post 365 days
I
a
tend
year.
to agree. That's one of the reasons you will not see me do 800 words a day, mainly because I have another project that if you go and look at my account, it looks like it would take me 10 minutes to do. It actually takes me 3 to 4 hours a day by the time I do all the creation workflow. So, you never really know how much time is put into anything. So, with that,
Yeah.
I think we can wrap up. Um, we're never going to make everybody happy when it comes to Hive Watchers. That's just the way it is. I think it probably makes a big difference actually hearing from you. And by the way, we take it that it's just you that's working on Hive Watchers. There's nobody else on the team.
Yeah. It's just me
Okay.
right now.
All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to close off the recording. Thank everybody for being here, and of course those who happen to be listening to the recording. And then there is a period of time here in the channel that if you want to stick around, people can ask questions directly. So with that, I Bitcoins, thank you for co-hosting with us today, and let's look forward to next week with Grandpa and Menno and Aloha Ed as the co hosts. Until next week, bye for now.